Hi guys, I've accepted the fact that we're not going to be seeing each other for a little while, so I'm going to be doing a video demonstration of making a copy of a Freud painting. I'm going to give it a go with some oil pastels, and if I can find my acrylics I'll try some demonstrating with that as well. But a little bit of face-to-face teaching I think might be helpful at this stage. So I'm going to try this painting by Lucian Freud, which is a painting of a young Irishman, I believe. So I shall get things set up and show you how I would suggest you get started with this. So the first stage is just sketching out the basic shape of the head and neck and shoulders. I'm just doing that in colour that isn't going to be particularly relevant. I've chosen a kind of grey for this because my set doesn't seem to have any browns, so I'm going to have to manage without browns for this. I would normally probably choose a brown. And then I can just start just looking at the darker areas and sketching those in. And these are not the softest of oil pastels, so it might be a little bit of a slow process to get enough colour out of them. I'm just looking for these darker areas and I'll get those sketched into place. See again here on the hair. Try not to go too strong initially with the oil pastels, just building up loose areas of light and dark. So there's the dark areas in, let's get some of the light bits in. Obviously the light areas in themselves you won't be able to see very well because it's white, but I can pick it out. Detail down the nose. Let's go for some of these light pinks and peach colours, so the lighter skin tones. This one joins onto the white on the forehead, comes down here, bits on the ear, and I'm just starting to build these into the image just loosely. I've not even got the features drawn in yet. I'm just trying to get a suggestion of a few of the detailed areas. See now I've started to add in some of the features themselves. So I've put the eyebrows in, let's get the eyes in place there. So I'm using the black now because it looks like some of these features are in black, and obviously we've got some darker details, and the black is quite an effective tool for just developing that detail. So I've got the top line of the eye and the iris. There's a little bit of shadow under, I'll get a hint of that in. Same the other side. I just want to show you how to do this quite quickly really. Don't spend too long, don't work on every detail, just try and get the basics in. Right, the nose, there's a tendency to make noses too long. And I've already done that with my white, so I've had to cut over the white a little bit with this black to try to shorten that nose a bit, because as I say, we do often try and make noses too long. And then here, this mouth, it's kind of got quite a sideways twist on it. So I'm going to try and get, I'm getting that detail of the line in between the two lips there, so trying to get that slant that's on there, that uneven mouth. Then there's the shadow under the chin. I've got slightly too much chin there. I can cut that short a little bit like this, so I can look into the shadow under the chin. If I'm not sure, I'll keep it fairly light at this stage. Don't work too hard with that. Anything that I'm sure about, I can be a little bit stronger with my markings. Right, now I want to just start bringing a little bit of the reds and oranges. I've got very limited colours in this set. It's only a pack of 12 pastels. The red is quite a crimson red, the orange, quite a bright orange. So I've got to be a little bit restrained with these because I don't want the bright red. So if I just put a layer in the strongest of red areas, and then I'll dull those down, take the strength of the colour off them by putting other colours over them. So I'm just looking for the areas that are the reddest. Bits on the cheeks, bit on the neck there, it's a bit of an orangey colour. The ears have some there. So we can see it just starting to build up now. We're getting to the point where the lack of a brown is starting to, in the oil pastel set, is starting to be a problem. But I'm just going to try and manage it. So I'm trying now to get a little bit stronger with my oil pastels, so particularly the lighter colours like these. So I've got these two that are kind of flesh tones, and I'm going over my oil pastels and over the colours I've already got, and you can see that as I go over them, the colour changes and the texture changes on there, and it becomes a much richer, more painty kind of a finish. So I can work over those, trying to tone down the colours that are there, and also building up what I've got. Now I'm not getting enough variety of colour in here yet, and as I say, that lack of a brown is causing part of that trouble. And I have to use a little bit of grey and then bring some yellows and reds into it. So the grey is going to be my darker tone, where I would normally be using brown, but I can use a tiny bit of orange with it too, just to have more of a reddish tone to it. You can see just building up these areas in that same way. You can see that at the start here when I was mapping out, I made the base of the face and the side of the face a little bit too big there, but because I've kept it quite pale, right, I'm just going to do a little bit more on this section around here. You can see I've worked into it further and starting to really strengthen those colours now. So it's now pressing really quite firmly with your oil pastels and just trying to build onto the light shades that are already there. Areas where I've got lines, I don't want strong lines, so I'm going to go over those as well and just blend in that line, and you can see how it just becomes a softer, more kind of painty kind of line. Around the eyes here, again, just working over that. I don't want the eyebrow to be too sharp. And then in the eye itself, there's the white of the eye. The white of the eye isn't actually white, but when I go over it with the white here, you can see it's going to mix with the colours that are there and not end up being a white colour in itself. So if I just work around here, then you can see it's just trying to be fairly bold with what you do. If you're not sure about a colour, just do it fairly softly, and you can come back to it and just check it in a little while. If you've already got an undercolour on there, you can go over a little bit more strongly with something else, and that will kind of fix it into place. But you can see a section there that's fairly finished, and that will be the kind of thing that I'll be looking for from you as you complete your work. So you can see here a section fairly finished, where I've been much bolder with my materials. What I forgot to say was, don't forget about your background areas and your clothes and things, so do make sure you work into those. You can see here I've got this grey shirt I can work into. There's some lighter areas on that. I'll put a little bit of that white in. It can be quite good to practice these as well, because you can work quite boldly with these. It just gets you into a more positive approach with the pastels, where you're trying to be really quite strong with the use of the pastels and quite bold with how you put them on. So I've got the shirt there finished on that side, and then the background behind it there is just a pretty strong black from what I can tell from this picture. So I'm going to go strongly with that, and then up there behind here it's kind of grey, but it's kind of more yellowy or brownish grey. So I'll build a bit of grey onto there and then look to what. So year 10, this was my attempt at just showing you how to use some oil pastels. I'm looking for you to be using them in a bold, fairly quick manner. Try not to spend too long on this piece, just try and get the effect of the artist's style. And if you don't feel able to get the whole lot done, you can do a section, like I've focused on a section here that I'm showing you now. If I just finish that section, that would still be a worthwhile piece of work to put into my portfolio. Okay, good luck with that year 10.